Hello, my name is Annalisa Ard, and this is my strategic plan for the proposed school Language Learning with Miss Lisa. This is not an organization that has been realized yet. However, this presentation will be looking at what this program could be and working to bring it into a reality. During this presentation, I will take you through the executive summary and the preamble. Then I will explain what the ideal institutional environment would be, going into a bit more detail with the overview. Finally, I will explore the SWOT analysis of this program, ending with the goals and assessment metrics. To begin with, I'd like to explain what a strategic plan is. This is a tool that shows organization and foresight, gifting the program additional chances of success in the future. Strategic plans are tools used to establish exactly where your organization is going over the next few years and how it's going to get there. A strategic plan is a coordinated and systematic way to develop a course and direction for your company. We can use this to prepare and outline the trajectory of activities, examine the motivation, expenses, and means with which to execute the activities. We can use the plan to scrutinize strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in order to evaluate the program's inner and outer environment. We want to ensure that all employees, from owners to faculty, know where we are headed, and enhance the usage of resources for students, parents, committees, and other future stakeholders. This strategic plan covers a future period from January 2020 to December 2023. The school has not been opened as of yet, but this strategic plan is an aspiration document that will be launched with the formalization of language learning with Miss Lisa beginning January 2020. Language Learning with Miss Lisa will be an independent program set to serve the wider community of Phayao in Thailand. The mission of the program is 1. To help the students improve their English skills with a special emphasis on learning. 2. Give the staff the opportunity to continuously develop their potential and growth. And 3. To bring the community together by focusing on developing relationships between organizations and the community on the basis of fairness. The philosophy of this program was developed by the research done into the types of leadership and has 4 keystones. First is my theory. I define leadership as being able to inspire others to new heights by simply being as authentic as possible and showing what is required more than demanded new behaviors. The second pillar is my attitude. This is my mentality in regards of handling leadership. My attitude is that true, benevolent leaders will not seek out power, and thus the reluctant individual is the best for the job. Those who have actively pursued power do not have the group members in mind as they do so, but chase power and privilege for themselves. A reluctant leader will be more genuine in their desires and thus more suitable for the position. The third aspect of my philosophy is my guiding principle. This is something a leader should hold dear and keep in the forefront of their mind as they make decisions for their community. The guiding principle that shapes my philosophy is working towards betterment of the whole by striving to first better the individual. When each person is determined to meet, then surpass his or her personal best, the community flourishes as a whole. Then the final pillar that I use to build my outlook is behavior. The behaviors that a leader displays in the drive to attain the desired outcomes show more than tell about the person's intention. The behaviors that should be showcased encompass those which I have listed above: open communication, empathy, charisma, tactful persuasion, conceptualization, foresight, and stewardship. With this leadership philosophy working as a guiding compass, the outline for the program's expectations and design start to shape a path for future actions. The learning objectives are split between students and employees in the wider community. The learning objectives for the students is that upon graduation from the program, they will be able to benefit from the following outcomes. They will be able to speak English more fluently, be able to read and write English with greater ease, and will be able to understand more English as spoken by a wide variety of English speakers. Upon implementation of the program, the employees and wider community will be able to expect the following outcomes as well. Employees will achieve new accomplishments in their professional careers each year, and the community will gain a higher proficiency in English overall. This section includes a comprehensive look at the hierarchy proposed for language learning with Ms. Lisa. In the diagram below, the structure of the organization is depicted with the program owners standing at the head of the organization and the departments just under the program owners. The departmental leadership is split into 4 categories with an additional head of language as a go-between for the departments and the teachers. The departments depicted here are the fundraising department, the budget and finance department, the materials department, and the advertising department. Students at this school can come at any age, any level, and will be grouped according to those factors. Class sizes will be kept small, approximately 15 students or less to each class, in order to create the ideal learning environment. These classes will be separated in order to help the students in them feel most comfortable, meaning the priority will be placed on age brackets first, then learning levels. An example would be a Level 1 class with students aged 4 to 6, a Level 1 class with students aged 7 to 9, a Level 1 class with students aged 10 to 13, and so on, repeating the same age brackets with higher language levels. The current anticipated student grouping is most populated from young children, about preschool, to mid-teens or middle school, with a healthy population in business adults as well. This map shows a quick overview of the part of town where the main school, Payao Pithiakom, is. The location of the proposed program is to be determined, but would preferably be close to the main school so as to allow better access for after-school activities or programs. The main school of Payao is located less than a kilometer from the infamous Guan Payao, the local lake and landmark. This program would like to be on the side of the main school that is closest to the city center, thus allowing optimal access for the vast majority of students. We intend to be on the main road between the school and the lake, but are also exploring other options. The accreditation has not taken place yet, but will be in compliance with the standards as set by the MOE, the Ministry of Education, Thailand. The standards as found within this accreditation scheme include aspects such as qualifications for applicants for international school license, location, building and design, curriculum, qualifications of manager, headmaster or mistress and teachers, qualifications of students, tuition fees and other fees, school quality assurance, and school administration. Each of these areas will need to be addressed in length by the program owners, with the viable option of hiring a professional consultant to help ensure maximum efficiency throughout the entire application. This strategic plan was implemented to provide organization and clarity for the program. The plan is meant to serve as a roadmap to the success of this program and all the stakeholders, from students to program owners, that are involved. The strategic plan is intended to help provide the framework for finalization of the Language Learning with Ms. Lisa program and to develop strategies for launching the program. The future of the program aims to include all of these aspects depicted here, as well as others that may come up along the way. Let's take a look at some of the most important topics. The faculty will encompass 2 groups. The main faculty will be comprised of native English speakers holding at least a bachelor's degree, but a master's degree being preferred, in fields related to the teaching of English language. These members of the team will also be supported in any additional education they wish to obtain, either via higher education or by attending seminars that benefit their performance. Additionally, we will have a secondary faculty of Thai native speakers as teacher aides, which will be expected to hold at least a bachelor's degree in fields relating to teaching English to their students, as well as a high TOEIC or TOEFL score. Retention of the faculty members will include a competitive salary with a raise upon scoring exemplary in the annual review. Continued educational opportunities will be funded by the program within an appropriate budget defined by the circumstances at the time, being local economy, success of the school, prestige of the event, and so on, and the topic of the event. We also provide all visa services and absorb the costs of visa and work permit fees for non-Thai residents, as well as provide help in getting and keeping these documents as connected with the language school. Sick leave and personal leave will be granted at 1 week per type with additional weeks earned over time at a rate of 3 additional days per year until the maximum of 1 month is reached. Admissions for the school would be held with a simple placement test, mostly assessing which level of the class the student would best thrive in. After being accepted into the program, both students and parents would sit with a TIE administrator of the school to go over expectations from both sides. This would be where the students are warned against improper behavior, after which the school reserves the right to terminate their contract with the student and refuse to finish their course. Recruitment and admission efforts will involve working closely with the community in Payao to cultivate a relationship with local business professionals there, while at the same time maintaining a virtual presence online via the school's website. Near the time the school opens, there will be an outreach plan implemented to aid the wider, less affluent areas of Payao in their efforts to acquire English as a second language. These efforts can also serve as recruitment, as the students in these schools experience our top quality staff and faculty members and enjoy the games and activities presented during the outreach events. This program aims to enrich the lives of students by providing second language acquisition opportunities using all 4 skills in topics that pertain to their lives and would be authentic to each student. We would also eventually like to incorporate a third-party counseling aspect where students could talk to someone about their experience in the language program and reveal any areas that can be improved upon for the benefit of the students, as well as any anxieties or concerns they have about learning by immersion. After the program has been built and gained some traction, the program owners would like to host international trips to countries where English is the first language, Singapore or Australia being the closest, to allow an immersive experience for our students. This aspect would provide housing in the target country for the duration of the stay, as well as group meals, lessons, and events. Once decided upon, this curriculum will be delivered via committee-appointed textbooks and workbooks that the students will be given, and the classes will be conducted by 2 professionals, a native English speaker and a native Thai teacher aide. For the younger students, this curriculum will be more laden with activities and experiences. However, for the older students, we hope to incorporate an authentic learning environment where they will learn to feel comfortable using English for communication. These classes would deal with the more in-depth aspects of English, such as pronunciation, grammar, spelling, reading, writing, and listening to higher levels of English. Overall assessment and achievement will be ascertained using in-class activities, performative reviews, and a final exam at the end of each term. These will be tracked using in-class observations, rubrics provided to the faculty to assess performances in speaking, listening, and writing, and a numerical grade attributed to reading and grammar comprehension. The 2 in-class teachers will perform their own assessment, with the final exam, speaking, listening, and writing, being assessed by additional teachers within the program using rubrics to explain how and why the students received the grade they were given. These will all funnel down into a final numerical scale, with the passing grade being set at 70%. Those who fall below this percentage may be asked to take the course again or move down to a more suitable language level. Those in the highest percentage qualify for the scholarships to the school or the annual trip, if they desire to apply. A policy manual will be drafted by the program owners upon the conception of the program in January 2020. After such time, it will be submitted to the head of departments as they are hired for insights and revisions, with the final draft being overseen by an MOE compliance worker. The policies of the language program will range over various categories, including those that are depicted here. This will be an extremely comprehensive manual that will use clear, precise language to help all those it pertains to in understanding the standards of the language program and their individual expectations. Financial planning will be based off of projections as done by the intended budget, as overseen by the budget head, and as approved by the program owners. This will include taking on the initial startup costs and setting up standard tuition for various classes and services, as well as creating realistic expenditure costs. The budgeting department will work closely with all departments to establish a list of priorities and express a likely avenue of obtaining those needs. This would be worked out between the program owners and the budget head with input from other staff and faculty members on what is needed. Right now, this budget is only a conception, and it will be developed over time with additional changes from the budget head, changes in the economy, and unforeseeable future causing shifts. This initial funding will come from a savings account created by the two owners, as well as a partnering with local businesses for additional funding and supplies. The organizational assessment will be taken on in phases and given insights by different departments as it evolves over time. There will be many different aspects from the various departments that are examined over time, leading to a final assessment of the entire program at the end of the academic year. At the conception of this language program, these departmental assessments will be held much more frequently in order to ensure that all of our goals are being met in the time in which they need to be seen to. As this becomes a more common routine for all involved, these meetings and conversations will happen with less frequency, but will still be kept to a specific schedule to keep all aspects of the program in compliance with the standards of the language program and those within it. Program development will be seen to at the end of each term, with different viewpoints weighing in on a SWOT analysis of what the term had presented. That brings us to the SWOT analysis. Here is a chart created with the intent of showing the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that this program faces. Here we see that the strengths of this program deal with utilizing strong professionals of the relative fields, working closely with the community, and taking advantage of the location. The weaknesses depicted show barriers of marketing and costs, also taking into account the culture and small community that may not have a relatively high demand as other bigger cities do. The opportunities allow us to glimpse a future where English is growing in popularity, and we take advantage of that trend now. It also sees a bridge between Thai and Western culture and works to blend these two together in a seamless manner. The looming threats of this program stem from other programs of a similar nature blossoming, the lack of necessary resources, and the difficulty of staying afloat in a foreign country. All of this leads to a program that has a lot of strengths and opportunities, but also faces significant weaknesses and threats. The hope of this program is to identify and work with the latter aspects early enough to change them into building blocks for creating an even better program than anticipated. By recognizing the shortcomings here, the program can prepare and see to them accordingly in order to successfully overcome them in the future. This has shown to be a completely justified program, and the strengths and opportunities grant an excellent insight into what the program could become, if organized and cared for with the proper amount of caution stemming from the possible threats and weaknesses. The best possible way to go about bringing in that future is by staying competitive with the program itself and the benefits we can offer staff and faculty. This program has many goals set out in front of it, but three main goals are shown here. Starting with goal number 1, the main objectives would be to hire individuals to fill out all of the available positions. This would be an intensive process seen to by first the program owners alone, then with the addition of department heads as they were added to the team. Eventually, the success could be seen when the program has a full set of qualified professional faculty and staff members that work well together and bring valuable insights and talents to the team. The second goal's objectives would be to first design ideas for the curriculum, segregating different age groups and levels. The next step would be to source ideas from all available resources, employees, libraries, existing schools and programs, personal experience, and so on, until we could eventually reach the third objective of designing the curriculum that best suits all of the needs of the students and faculty members. This would have many people working on it, eventually forming a curriculum committee that would propose ideas to the head of curriculum. Once the head of curriculum had given the stamp of approval, the proposed curriculum would then be passed to the program owners for a final decision. The success metric of this goal would be realized when an exemplary curriculum plan has been designed and agreed upon by the curriculum committee, the heads of curriculum, and the program owners. The final goal expressed here would have the first objective of establishing opportunities for staff and faculty to attain professional development at least once per calendar year. The next step would be defining guidelines or standards for what constitutes as professional development. Finally, we would need to establish a means of allowing the staff and faculty access to this information and enroll in the various activities. The research would be done by the program owners and all of the department heads in order to find and provide quality events to our employees that meet the standards of those in that department. The success metric would be realized when staff and faculty members fully understand the multitude of opportunities that are made available to them, and all members choose and attend at least one event each calendar year, which helps him or her advance in the skills or knowledge needed for his or her field. Thank you for your time and for reviewing my strategic plan. If you have any questions or advice, both are welcome as I attempt to refine my plan for the final submission. Thanks again.